Good evening. We are at the Cultural Institute, or Italian Cultural Institute of New York, and this is a masterclass or a rehearsal in anticipation of the concert of June 28 at Central Park. I am here with Maestro Alvise Casellati, and I would like to ask him to introduce the singer and to explain also something about the concert, the mission of the concert and the idea of the concert, which is linked also to the anniversary of the death of the great tenor Enrico Caruso.
Thank you for the invitation. It's fantastic to be here and to be in great company. So we have, starting from the ladies, Jennifer Rowley as soprano, Gabriella Reyes as soprano as well, and Stephen Costello as tenor. So the concert was conceived, first of all, by Opera Italiane's in the Air as Rebirth. We had booked this 28th of June of 2020, and we had to postpone it. And so this date comes at the perfect time where life has started again, and we will be the first big opera event of the city. With large orchestra, because so far we've seen chamber music. The concept of Rebirth is joy, happiness, and we'll have a great orchestra from the professors of the Metropolitan Opera and their students, and also New York Philharmonic. So we have many interesting pieces. We will start the concert with the choir of Memorial Sloan Kettering. So there is a special participation this year. With a special project with the hospital, the music therapy department. The choir is composed of the cancer survivors, and they will be singing the national anthem, the US national anthem. Following the Italian national anthem, the concert will be streamed to Memorial Sloan Kettering music therapy department and to all the doctors and patients. So this is a great collaboration. I cannot think of an institute that embodies the saving of lives like Memorial Sloan Kettering. We're really proud of associating with them and to have them sing in really a rebirth for them, especially after what they went through. So this will be a gift to us from them. Then the concert will start after the national anthem with this Mondriana Villegas, from the very young composers program, the New York Philharmonic. I like to call them the young Mozart, the little young geniuses. Mondriana will premiere a 2-minute piece that she has written. She's never heard. She will listen for the first time in rehearsals. And after that, we'll start with the program, the Triumphal March of Aida, which sounds very much like a blockbuster, but actually Aida, this year is the 150th anniversary from Aida. So it's also a testament to Verdi. We wanted to open the concert with this. And Aida is an opera where love is the triumph of love as well. So it's an opera where there are many conflicts of integration between populations, and the same principles apply today. And we want to believe that after all these wars and tensions, love always wins. So this is also the message. Then we will have Elixir of Love from Donizetti. Donizetti in the typical representation of bel canto italiano. So it's a page that is very enjoyable, very free. This will be Stephen and Gabriella singing it in duet. Following which there will be Il Trovatore, Tacea la notte placida with Jennifer. Il Trovatore is also one of the main operas of Verdi, the so-called trilogia italiana, in the midst that Verdi wrote in the midst of the early 1950s, end of the 1840s. It's an opera that is really cruel. It's very, very heavy feelings. And Il Trovatore is, in this aria, Jennifer is singing about the love she has for Il Trovatore. And so it's very light, taking the light parts of these tough operas for the people to enjoy. After which we will have, of course, the Symphony from Nabucco, which is one of the most beautiful symphonies. Symphonies is the so-called overture, let's say the first part of the opera. And after Verdi, we will have the O mio babbino caro from Puccini. This is an homage to Dante Alighieri. This year is the 700 years from the death of Dante, which is our number one poet, I would say, in history. And then we have, of course, Manzoni later, but Dante Alighieri, Gianni Schicchi is it's a character from the Inferno. And he basically falsified the Testamento, no? So he falsified the will. And for this and many other tricks that he did, Dante decided to make him a snake in hell. He became like, it's really horrible, the torture that they need to go through. But here we have the light part. Gianni Schicchi is an opera that is extremely entertaining. And in this aria, which she will sing very shortly, we will rehearse it and we will work with it together. She's praying her dad to let her marry her love. So it's the typical prayer of the young lady, and of course Gabriella is also super young. So she's praying the dad to let her marry and buy. Otherwise, she'll throw herself from the Arno, and she will die from a bad death. So this aria is one of the most famous in the world, actually. And but it's also here for us to remember Dante Alighieri. Then, of course, this concert is an homage to Caruso. So every piece that will be sang was something that Caruso used to sing and for which he was very famous. So he sang Nemorino, of course. So Stephen will be Caruso in our concert.
Wouldn't be so bold.
Will be our Caruso for the concert. So. He will sing a song, he will pay a tribute to Caruso, singing something he was singing. Caruso, of course, comes from Naples. I was born in Naples, and he had a very strong history with New York City. He had an incredible history. The bad guys from Italy threatened to cut his vocal cords when he was performing on the Met, getting a lot of money, when in our business we used to get a lot of money. And then, that happened in the past. So they blackmailed him and eventually collaborated with the NYPD. And he became an honorary captain of the New York City police force. So our concert, we have invited, and the major personalities from NYPD will attend the event in honor to Caruso. So Caruso has a very strong ties to New York and to the Metropolitan Opera. And we can say that Stephen has very strong ties with the Metropolitan Opera, has been there since 2005 maybe.
Yeah, well, 2007 I did my debut.
2007.
I've been here since 2007, and I met my wife there. And
so Caruso brought you luck.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You're still married, I imagine.
Yeah, and
Yes.
she's in the orchestra, so she
All right, so
has ties.
still happy love, fantastic. And so this is, he will sing Cor Ingrato, which is something that also Mario Lanza, and then we have the coincidence of Mario Lanza being born in 1921 when Caruso died. So by singing this, Stephen will be honoring both Caruso and Mario Lanza. So there is a thread.
Lanza, by the way, interpreted the Caruso in the movie about Caruso.
About Caruso, exactly. So there is even a stronger tie. And after Cor Ingrato, what we will have? Let's see if I remember by heart. O mio babbino caro, Cor Ingrato, and then Vissi d'arte from Tosca. So Jennifer, this is her debut at the Met, I think, was 2017. No, 14? Before? 2014. In Musetta?
Yes,
okay.
but I did sing Tosca in 17.
Okay, so she sang Tosca in 17, and now she's singing more roles like Tosca than Musetta.
Yes.
So she's a very large voice. And so this Visidarte is another pearl of the, it's the moment where Tosca is asking herself what she did wrong on earth to deserve her love to be condemned to death, and she's trying to pray Scarpia, the bad guy, to listen to her words and to have mercy.
So thank you very much for letting us to be here and to listen to this rehearsal, because I think that the rehearsal are great, not only for the singers, but for the public, in order to understand how to listen music, how to interpret, how to understand the music. It's also a philological work about every single note, every single accent, everything, a single thing that is written in the score. And we will be here listening to you, maybe asking sometimes some questions.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Please.
So enjoy. All right. So why don't we start? We go with the O mio babbino caro. So we'll start 4 measures before. Ask you a few things here. This is the tendency when you see, Montserrat Caballé and all the historically, whoever sang this in the past, you see a little bit the mistakes also that they do in doing these big, large tempos. This is from a young lady, so this should be sung sometimes even not vibrato. Oh mio babbino ca, like the voice of the young girl. So it shouldn't be oh mio babbino ca, like you're praying your dad. You wouldn't tell your dad, oh mio babbino, oh mio babbino ca, like with the same simplicity and charm that a daughter would appeal to the father. So it should not also be a lento. It should always flow. So, oh mio babbino caro, mi piace bello. So the first time we keep going. Not all these coronas that they make things very vulgar. So this needs to be as flow as possible. Then it goes in piano. Then I would like to hear your words much more, because we get lost. So use the consonant nell'andare a Porta Rossa, and then you want to throw yourself in Arno. Puccini writes a pianissimo here. So the pianissimo is praying is dead. You know, when you're angry, you scream. When you're asked for pity, for mercy, you never scream. You always use pianissimo. Pianissimo is when you pray for somebody. So how about we try from the beginning, thinking about as simple as possible. Look at the pianissimo that he wrote. He does pianissimo, and then he does discrescendo, but then he goes back to the pianissimo because it needs to be, please, Daddy, do it. Give it to me. This is the love of my life. I want to marry him. With all the tricks that a young girl is capable to her dad. All right? Let's try. Niente, 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 niente. Calma.
Oh mio bambino caro, mi piace
Without rushing, eh? It's a bello. I don't want to push you here, okay. So it has to be just try to feel it. Let's try from Oh mio bambino caro again. Okay?
Oh mio bambino.
Yeah. Let's not make it oh mio bambino. Otherwise, we understand very well. So there's like oh mio bambino. Don't drag it there. Don't drag it there. Okay? Let's try. Okay?
Oh mio bambino caro, mi piace bello, bello, fondare in Porta Rossa, a combinar l'anello. Sì, sì, ci voglio andare. E se l'ama s'indarno, andrò sul ponte vecchio, ma per buttarmi l'arno.
Esattamente così. But when you see all these question, like not question mark, how do you say exclamation marks, right? So, io non voglio andare. So, if you do andare, it's let's keep the Puccini flow. Ya ta ti yam pam ya ti ti ya. Sempre parlanello. Let's do from there. Va andare in Porta Rossa. Fifth measure. Andare, ok, vai.
Andare in Porta Rossa, a combinar l'anello.
L'anello, non è l'anillo.
L'anello.
Adesso, sì,
Sì, ci voglio andare.
Iati, tati.
E se l'ama s'indarno, ne stringe sorry.
No, don't worry. Andrò sul Ponte Vecchio, right? Andrei sul Ponte Vecchio, right? Andrei, sì. sull'arno. Let's do from before. So, sì, sì, when you do l'anello, sì, sì, ci voglio andare. Also here, do sì, sì, ci voglio andare. Try to make as less vibrato here in these parts as possible with the voice. A little teenager that she is.
Okay.
And then I'll prepare you when the viola enter here. Yati, tati, ya. No, let's do from CC. Sì, sì.
Ci voglio andare, e se la massa intorno attraverso il ponte vecchio, ma per buttarmi in arno mi strucco e mi
Yeah, here it would be beautiful if you can do a little filato. You're young enough that you can still do these things, right? And do pietà with this diminuendo here. And you can do as much crescendo as you can here. Because here you are at the maximum, at the peak of the piece, right? Babbo pietà, pietà. And this very controlled diminuendo. And then we'll go to what comes next. Okay? Let's do directly 2 measures before this. Molto bene. So you work on this, also opening this sull'arno to pronounce really this. It helps you with this pronunciation to get flowing with also the music.
I think that we understood the difficulty of this mixture, which is the mixture of Puccini, many female character of Puccini between passion and innocence.
Uh-huh. Like you have Madama Butterfly,
exactly.
right? Kind of the same youth.
Exactly. It's extremely difficult. You made it clear when you were speaking about the vibrato, not the vibrato. Because, of course, with passion, singers tend to use the vibrato and to use the maximum of their voice. And the innocence, on the contrary, means something different.
It also is very rare because with voices like Gabriella is now young, but Jennifer, they are soprano lirico spinto in terms of Jennifer. So in Puccini, when you get to sing Puccini later in life, it's much more difficult to go back because then you have much a larger material, I would say, right? Material in the body, so it's so more tricky. And Gabriella, notwithstanding her young voice, she has a very powerful, very large voice as well. So although she's singing other types of roles, so it's always difficult, this balance. And Puccini writes always these figures, right, with the crescendo and diminuendo, where the orchestra will need to breathe and let, right, with the bow, especially the strings, give this idea of softness of his heart. There is one of the composers that pierces the heart, that you cannot go to a Puccini opera without crying. You see, every time.
I don't know. I told them I don't know how they can sing and not crying, without crying, because it's so moving. And thanks
they
also
are.
To the pianist who is graduating at Juilliard, I think. So it's a great pianist we have today. Would you like to tell your name, to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yes. Who should I speak to? My name is Jeremy Chan, and
And he loves French music, not Italian.
He asked me what music I love. I said, well, I do a lot of accompanying. I do a lot of opera. But when COVID hit, I got to play music that I just chose myself, and I found myself putting like Ravel and Debussy on the piano, and I thought, oh, this is fun.
So you have a wonderful touch.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Pleasure.
Please, nice.
Right, so let's move forward. We go to the Visi d'arte, no? Yeah, adesso.
Okay, let's see. Well, you played before, or just
We go straight. Also, you know what I find amazing, what comes before, musically, harmonically, has nothing to do with the Visi d'arte. It goes totally into a different key. And it's very tough for musicians to read 6 bemolli, 6 flats in the score. So here we are in mi bemolle minore. So it's E flat minor, right? Which corresponds to G flat major, having all this in the score. So, all right.
So from just the note then, or yes?
That's what I have marked.
Or which instrument will give that?
We'll give you key.
Yeah.
Now the piano will.
Thank you.
So here, we spell everything out, right? Quante miserie tagliati ta ta. We spell everything out. I'll spell it with my gesture here, okay? Come furtiva. with the accord straight, without going anywhere. Non eri così...
Mi vuoi
Bravo.
suppliare sui tuoi piedi?
Ok, bravissima, bravissima. I would ask you only sometimes to also the pronunciation.
Dimmi.
Also a little more acting when it's she's using she's quite low, la mia preghiera.
Yes.
Ai santi tabernacoli salì.
Yes.
Here it's I feel it should be even more dramatic. It's using the same note, so it's not about the note la mia preghiera ai santi tabernacoli salì.
Yep.
Un attimo più recitata, a little more reciting when it's repeating the same note.
Ok.
Otherwise it comes la mia preghiera ti torna con
Ok, sì. Mhm.
the if you are agli altari così perché Signore, very good there. Perché Signore, when you even breathe there, no?
Yeah,
So
I do
it's
the
perché exactly.
Signore.
This is perfect. This see.
Yes,
This little commas,
sì.
perché, and this, when you have this level of genius writing these things, everything has a meaning, which we're trying to respect and to honor. So the, yeah, I would say expelling out most of all, quante miserie conobbi. Quante miserie conobbi, dai. Okay. Everything else at the beginning is very good.
Okay, very good. I like the tempo, it's perfect, thank you.
And the same thing for the Diedi gioielli alla Madonna al manto, no?
Okay.
Also the same part. Let's try to do this part. Riam, to, tim, tom. And all the rest we'll see with the orchestra.
Yeah.
The first part especially.
With Diedi gioielli, you have more text. Diedi gioielli della Madonna al manto, or
Diedi
more
gioielli.
legato?
No, like, I mean, we don't need to do diedi.
No, ma
Diedi gioielli della Madonna al manto. It's the desperation, but more with acting.
Okay.
I would try to do a little more acting. I've given everything to
Yes.
you. I've given
Yes.
everything to you and the arts, and I want my love now.
let me out of this situation.
Yes, exactly. So let's go from one before the Diedi
Okay.
gioielli. You don't need that. Same thing that I said before. So take this pause, take this break to breathe really, not to do this code.
Ok.
This-
Più belli.
Agli astri al ciel che ne ridem più belli, via
Ok.
nell'ora del dolor.
Ok.
And then perché.
Yeah, pardon.
Okay. Let's do from again from Diedi gioielli.
Ok.
Perché
even more dramatic
Yes.
if you do it così, like we do it in Trovatore.
Oh,
Remuneri, così.
Ok, va bene.
And here, do you like if you want to do even more
Even more?
going
On the G.
perché ta ti ta ya tam tim tam ta ta ti ta tam a little portamento. Let's try only this, and then the rest is nell'ora del dolore, agli astri al cielo, che ne ridossi, right? Che ridono agli astri al cielo.
Ok.
So a little separation there.
Gli
To-
astri,
al cielo.
gli astri al cielo. Ok. Ok.
Che ne ridean più belli, right? So you are speaking about them. Agli astri al cielo, che ne ridean più belli. Ok. La facciamo dall'ora. Nell'ora del dolore. One before, two before molto allargando.
Okay.
Bravissima, but with me.
Ah, mi dispiace. Ok.
Che ne remuneri. Bravissima, bravissima, bravissima. Così. Bene, bene, bene,
Can
bravo.
I ask you what's your mother tongue, English, your language?
Is English?
English, because you
But
have a
I-
wonderful Italian.
Thank you. I studied at the Scuola dell'Opera Italiana at the Teatro Comunale di Bologna for a year. And I learned, I'm not fluent, but I'm
No,
very
but
close and I try very hard. And I like to
I
practice.
appreciate very much the double consonant.
I love the doubles. I also have a very wonderful Italian diction coach, Lucy Tucker Yates, who is affiliated with Will
Yes.
Crutchfield and his Bel Canto festivals. And she really helps me because it's, you know, as an American, it's very hard.
Yes.
Because we speak with our mouths
Yes.
very close like this. And so it's very hard to keep the position and bring the diction
Yes,
forward.
I know, because sometimes you listen to wonderful singers, but the pronunciation
Yes.
it's terrible. And for us Italian, it's difficult
Yes.
to appreciate really a good singer without a good pronunciation of Italian.
But for me, it's
Congratulations.
very important, the pronunciation, because I feel it's such a huge respect to your language and to this music to have the text
Yes.
so perfect. So I work on it a lot.
I
I
can
study
hear.
a lot.
And this is
No, one of the
really
difficulties in this is also the Italian, because
Yes.
it's not easy for us as well.
exactly.
Because I was telling them before when we rehearsed Elisir d'Amore, how difficult, because Italian does not write the accents. So we don't know if it is open
Yes.
vowel or closed vowel, acuto or grave, we don't know. So we have to check the dictionary, and there is no dialect in Italy that is the perfect dialect that has exactly the good pronunciation. I was explaining one example. We say in Venetian 10, but in the correct way to sing is 10 in the thing. So there are many things that are counterintuitive depending on where you come from in Italy. And the first thing I did when I started learning opera was to relearn Italian and see and look at the dictionary at the app of Zingarelli in my phone to check really with the accents whether it's open, it's closed, or because sometimes a singer, in Barbiera di Siviglia, a baritone for singing doesn't say della città, it says della cittò.
Yeah.
Right, della cittò. That's normal, but an open O sounds like an A.
Yes.
So there are some tricks that in singing you use to put a good position to project the voice. So those are little tricks that they learn with their vocal coaches on how to make a more beautiful voice. One master of this was Mozart. And Da Ponte, of course, they are very linked. In all Mozart da Ponte's opera, you have exactly the words that are needed for you to sing that particular notes. And that's so fascinating, that how exact pronunciation of Italian helps you sing better.
Absolutely.
And especially the consonants that
Absolutely.
help you project and put yourself in the right frame and find the exact point that you need to project the voice in that. It's amazing how everything is studied to such level of perfection that you don't know if it was simple intuition or it was really knowledge. And I think it was both.
Yeah. And
So-
then this is really a moving piece of music because it's as if Puccini was speaking about himself. I gave my jewels, I gave my music. It's something, it's not speaking only about money, about what she gave, the jewels. She's speaking about the voice, everything that a musician has to give, can give to destiny. So it's as if Puccini was confronting also his own destiny. It's great.
This is a career that everybody starts without knowing how it will go. Also, there is nothing more frail than vocal cords.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one
All
of the biggest
all the
tragedies.
success for a writer of
But
music.
imagine, I write one person I have in great esteem that I knew very well, a very famous baritone in Italy, said, I think it's a very humbling experience to sing in an opera and be out of voice for the second act, and you have to drop out. And the way you feel in that point, if that ever happens, it's not a thing. You're working with something invisible, and it's inside of your body. It's in the most frail. They are up on the stage looking at the public, so they need a lot of energy from the public, from everybody, a lot of sustain from the orchestra and from me too. Try to give them as much love as I can. But it's really a difficult job. Also, imagine today with back then, the regie in the 80s and 90s, there was no stage direction. They park and bark, right?
Park and bark.
It used to be. Then you start having these brilliant stage directors who sometimes are not as brilliant, but they move them upside down. They need to sing from the feet up, down, and they need to put a beautiful voice. And so that's really the difficulty. But maybe I would like to ask each of you, what was the toughest challenge in your career?
Ooh, the toughest challenge. Well, I'd say mine was because my debut was so young, and the tenor voice develops over probably matures. I'd say late 30s, early 40s is when you get to your vocal maturity. So I made my debut at 25 at the Met, and so I had 15 years of vocal development in front of a public. But I'd say I can't remember what the second one was now. No, I guess it wasn't as hard as I thought. But it's just constantly trying to change, and it's vocal cords, as you were saying, every vocal cord is different. Everybody's throat is different. Nobody has the same sound. So when you go into when you're sick or you're on stage and you don't have it hurts so much more because that feels like your identity as a singer, you know? I know during the pandemic, especially, a lot of our friends and all that were out of work. It was very hard for them because they identified by their voice and by their singing. So when they weren't singing for over a year, you tend to get mentally blocked. I think that was tough for all of us, I'd say.
What about you?
Well, similarly, it goes along the lines of what you just said and what you mentioned earlier. The toughest challenge has been how vulnerable it is, this career, you know, really having to give myself grace throughout every moment, because perfection is not, it's non-existent, but to really come from the heart and not focus on ripping myself apart for every little thing. So really focusing on, this is a gift. I get to share what I have, and I'm a vessel, and I can share with people.
And also how to manage. The first thing they need to teach when they're young is how to manage rehearsals.
Yes.
They go through a lot of rehearsals. If they sing like this all the time, they're out of voice and they ruin their chords. So there has to be a sensibility as to when they can give and when they need to reserve. At the same time, the diet, they cannot drink before singing. Alcohol I'm talking about. So it's a lifestyle that is very regimented and very unforgiving.
But at the same time, you have to have a conductor and a director that allows you to be able to do that. Because in some situations, you get scolded sometimes if you're not singing out all the time.
Yeah, now there are moments where you must, obviously, when you do stage orchestral rehearsal. Those are done to balance, to understand the balance. So I even sometimes get angry if somebody does not. And I don't accept it because it's the only time to give. But maybe they have been, scolded before by other stuff that they need to do. So it's so demanding that
but I think that a good technique is useful also to keep a voice alive for a long time, if I'm right. Having a good technique, vocal technique, help to preserve.
Not only for them is also to guess the right repertoire. Because sometimes the mistakes that they do at a young age is to go into a repertoire. Let's say somebody like Steven, if he goes sing Caravadossi, he's going to kill himself. That's not his right. Tosca is not your role. It's not something he's ready to sing. If he started singing because he loves the character, even in his early 30s, he would ruin his voice. So they need really to stick to not what they wish to do, but to what they can do to give the maximum to everybody. So it is really, it's a lot of thinking and a lot of instinct as to what they should do or not, because the career is made more by how many no's you say than by the yeses you say. So it's.
Can I ask a silly question? Do you exercise out of the rehearsal or not? For instance, yes, yes.
Yeah, they must. Otherwise, to come here, they rehearsed, they studied, and they before we meet, both of us need to know what's going on and have a clear picture. And these rehearsals for us are important to be aligned as to where we want to go together. And which direction and which interpretation, and sometimes something you can see a character, you can see a quality, and you try to take even more out of that quality. You see, sometimes a voice can do certain things, cannot do other stuff. So you don't want to ask a voice like Jennifer to do big agilities because she's a different type of voice. So you need to know what you ask and who you have in front. When you do something. So, and this is given by experience and intelligence and humbleness in studying. Because all I said, they call you maestro on stage. When you leave the stage, you're a student. You go back to being a student and study. That's all it is. Our life is studying.
This is wonderful. So
it's
Yeah.
Okay. So the Guglielmo Tell we will not do.
poesia sottile che dagli occhi traspira e dai pagliesi vezzi intender sa agli occhi di pietà così l'effluvio del desiderio tutta la felice mi
Okay, a couple of things. Here, who is Musetta?
Musetta is flirting.
Huh?
Musetta is Marcello's lover.
Okay.
Well, right now ex, but she wants Marcello's attention, but he is playing like he doesn't want her, and it's really bothering her, but at the same time, she knows what she's doing, so...
So let's say that in the Italian 80s times, you would say sculettare, right? So when the lady is walking in a very visible way to attract a lot of attention. So here, in this piece is the typical Puccini. You have different tempos in different measures, no? Quando men vo, and then quasi ritardato. Quando men vo soletta per la via, la gente sosta e mira. So the people stop and look at you. So, and you're so proud of that. È la bellezza mia. So I would like you to think, more than singing, è la bellezza mia, no, where you are in full voice, I would like you to think of it as more light. Not so much in deep into the voice.
Okay.
La bellezza mia. No? A little bit flirty, but it's with a little bit this character.
Okay.
Soprattutto, especially in the quando men vo, no? It's not a high note, right? So it's very comfortable to manage. Quando. So let's do from the three armonici. Right?
Feel that, yeah.
Because if you charge, I'm now the soprano, let me show you what I got, right? It doesn't really work with who you're singing. So,
Okay.
And it says here, sempre seduta, dirigendosi intenzionalmente a Marcello, il quale comincia ad agitarsi. Because Marcello is so super jealous in these moments, right? So she does everything to make it con molta grazia ed eleganza, with lots of grace and elegance. So she's really teasing. So when you start singing like this, almost with a little filo di voce, right? It's so much more pretty. Also because of it's a valzer lento. So it's the dance of conquest. All right? Let's try again.
Okay.
From the armonici. Soletta. Try to do this little acciaccatura which is written.
Okay.
Quando men vo soletta. Just to give this little spin here.
Okay.
Quando men vo soletta per la via, la gente sosta e mira. La gente sosta e mira. Okay. Dim. Don't kill it. Quando men vo.
Too much. Okay.
Quando men vo soletta. It has to be really elegant. It's really when you do this, no? Quando men vo soletta. A little bit of this, no? Otherwise, yeah, it's just like a push a little. Okay. Ritardando molto. So here, ed apo, right? Allora la bramosia sottil. So it's the walk of the spider, right? It's really walking slowly towards the Marcello. So it's also for stage. Yam tam pam. Once you do that, Marcello said, "Legatemi alla seggiola." It's like I'm going crazy. Like let not me. Let's do from here. Pom. Poco rallentando, it's very tricky. Ed ai palesi vezzi intense. No, so be careful on the C and the F, right? Culto belta, pom pom così, and then we go. Let's do from ed a saporo. Legatemi alla seggiola, again. Yeah. Espansivo, felice, more breast,
Okay.
Try to think more here. Felice, mi fa. Try to open the arms in here. Così le fluviette, la tempo. Così, dal pianissimo.
Così l'effluvio del disegno tutto l'angelo felice mi fa, felice
E tu che sai, it becomes again who she was before. Felice, mi fa, felice, mi fa. It becomes again the teaser,
Okay.
as at the beginning. 23, directly. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have the final duet. This will be the way the concert ends, and then we'll do cor ingrato.
Che gelida manina, se la lasci riscaldar, se il cor che giova alla buia non si trova. Ma per fortuna in una notte di luna e quella luna l'abbiamo vicina. Aspetti, signorina, le dirò con due parole chi son, che faccio, come vivo. Vuole. Chi son? Chi son? Sono un poeta, che cosa faccio? Scrivo e come vivo, vivo. In povertà mia lieta, sciallo da gran signore, rimedini d'amore, per sogni e per chimere, e per Costello in aria. It's hard to sing after not singing for an hour.
Okay, nice. I'm going to ask you a few things, but generally, very good. When we say, I like to do a little ritardando when you explain the reason why you love her. Talor dal mio forziere, talor dal mio forziere, ruban tutti i gioielli, due ladri, gli occhi belli, no?
Yeah.
It sounds very... You stole everything.
He gets better as he goes along, doesn't he?
Your eyes. So
His poetry
here,
gets better.
due ladri, who steals all the jewels? Two thieves.
Yeah.
The beautiful eyes. So these are words that we need to understand. Due ladri, gli occhi belli. So it's almost I would do a cesura, seizing due ladri, gli occhi belli. Here I do a sort of rallentando. I divide by 3 here. So gioielli, due ladri, gli occhi belli. Un attimo to explain the love. Then
Should we try it for that?
yes, 1 second, I'll tell you other stuff. Okay, here I know it's pretty hard for every tenor in this part. Che gelida manina, se la lasci riscaldar, cercar che giova.
Sì.
I would not so much do it in voice, cercar che giova, non cercar che giova, al buio non si trova. Che gelida, you're looking for the hand, cercar. So I would see it as more espressivo in this part, as more cercar che giova, al buio non si trova. Ma per fortuna è una notte di luna, e qui la luna. Here I would try to stay, and you have the vocal capacity to do that, to do it in a light way, but more, e qui la luna. It's cold. The AC.
Yeah,
The AC.
It's okay.
You're saying the moon, how beautiful. E qui la luna di ta. It's like a little more poetic. Let's do only this beginning and then we go straight to il forziere. Yam pam. Direttamente, directly from number 30.
Che gelida manina, se la lasci riscaldar, cercar che giova, al buio non si trova.
Yeah. So try to find the color of voice in tomorrow here, cercar, without, I don't want to hang you because I'm asking you a different color. So to sound more cercar che trova, al buio non si trova. And let's go forward. Plim, plum, plim, plum, plum. Here, that would be now it sounded really beautiful, really the way I feel it when qui la luna l'abbiamo vicino.
Yeah.
Let's say again the same thing. from yeah.
Aspetti, signorina,
here I wait for you then before going down in the piano.
Okay.
Chi son, chi sono. I'll wait for you in this. Le dirò con 2 parole. Don't charge the R. Le dirò con 2 parole.
Okay.
We don't repeat for that. Ok. Chi son? Sono un poeta. Che cosa faccio? Scrivo e come vivo? Vivo. Paratiti in povertà mia lieta. Scialo da gran signor. This is a little bit acting, no?
Yeah.
In povertà piena, but scialo da gran signore.
Yeah, he's getting over his nerves. And then he is starting to get more and more.
D'amore per
poetic.
sogni di chi me. E here, chi me re e per castelli in aria. Anima milionaria. Let's go tra il forziere. Talor dal mio forziere. Ladri gli occhi belli. See the key at the end because it's terzina, this is third. Due ladri gli occhi belli. Ruba tutti i gioielli. Ruban tutti
i gioielli, due ladri gli occhi belli.
Yes, and go towards it. Gli occhi belli.
Gli occhi belli.
Exactly. Very nice. Then everything else was very nice. La speranza. Or che mi conoscete. Yeah, and also this part is very tough. Or che mi conoscete. Without charging here. More espressivo. Or che mi conoscete. Parlate voi. Parlate chi siete. Ok, facciamo, let's do from this finale. Sì. Together.
But can we get a measure before maybe?
Or from after the speranza.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parlate voi, parlate chi siete. Vi piaccia
So the corona is vi piaccia Dio.
Okay.
And very, very nice like this. Also, parlate con anima stentando, so with a lot of soul. Parlate chi siete. Ta-ram. Let's do from parlate chi siete.
Parlate chi siete. Vi piaccia
Bravo, molto bene.
Ok.
Bene.
Oh, it's me too.
Now in
Oh,
four.
this is not me. This is
In four.
This is the aria.
Si mi chiamano nome, ma il mio nome non c'è. La storia mia è breve, a te la sera arriviamo in casa e fuori. pranzo. Sono me fuori pranzo da me stessa, non vado sempre al messa, ma prego assai, Signor, vivo sola, solita, là in una bianca cameretta, guardo sui tetti, altro di me non ne saprei narrare, sono la sua vicina che la vede fuori l'ora importunare.
Brava, brava.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's very emotional
Huh?
to sing that. I don't know why. I don't know how that, like...
It's very interesting for me also the use of the rhythm. Only now, looking at the score, I can see it's a very refined, expressive use of rhythm, I think. I think it's a great challenge for a director.
Yeah, it's this piece is you get this idea of tempo that is very flexible. So pam pam pam, and has to express this difficulty of this piece is for a large voice also like her in this part to sound si mi chiamano Mimì, ma il mio nome è Lucia. So many times you do this piece, si mi chiamano Mimì, dico, oh my God. So instead, also here, it has to be really gentle and really as light as possible in this part. So la storia mia è breve, lieta, also going to mass, she's trying to appease to him with simplicity. I'm going to church, I'm a good lady. I'm not doing anything. So this is the challenge of a piece like this for her. I think
and
we
also have... in 1870 music, I don't know if I'm right, but often the pieces ended with the peak of the voice.
Mm-hmm.
Puccini used a lot of time to put the peak in the middle, and then
because it's so much more gentle,
exactly.
right? To end with the with in the language of love. If you think to lovers, you speak in the ears.
Yes.
When lovers are very angry, they scream at each other. But in O Soave Fanciulla, which is the next piece where they are going to make love, then you can see the Ormon of Puccini, where try it at the beginning of O Soave Fanciulla, just to make them hear O Soave Fanciulla, corny, horns, and flute. The flute is her, and the horn is the horn. The horn is the male, right? So it's in this part they are together. It's a real duet, and it starts with a duet from the orchestra, and Puccini says it all. Yam ta tim tim riam, ta ta tim. So it's the glory of the love. Finally, the conquest worked. Let's do just the beginning of that. So this is me.
O soave fanciulla, o dolce viso di vite circonfuso alba lunar. In terra viso il sogno che amarai sempre, sogno.
Just to give the idea, no? There is the glory of the love, and at the same time, then they whisper in their ears. So, I think I don't know if you wanted to finish with the Cor Ingrato. You wanted to
Continuing.
Just one.
just the
Which is a bit the symbol of the link.
the symbol of Caruso. The symbol of Caruso. Let's see if I find it. Just the beginning, maybe we do. Yeah. Eccolo qua. Let's do from 2 measures before. Let's do.
Questi parole amare, perché me pare occorre me turbiente Catari, non te scorda cattaggio date occorre Catari, non te scorda Catari. Keep going.
I think we wanted to give just the first sentence, just to give a little taste.
I don't remember the composer.
The composer, huh?
Isn't it Cardillo?
And
Yes.
it's not Di Giacomo.
No, there is they're famous for many. Is Cardillo, right?
Cardillo, the music.
It's a music, and the lyrics is Riccardo Cordiferro.
Wonderful.
But there are many different arrangements in history. This is Josie, I think.
I think
Logi.
this is a perfect end for today, because everybody will is going to to come to the concert, just to listen all the song and to listen also the other two wonderful singers. And I have to say, I think that it's a great privilege for them to work with you. Because,
and for me to work with them. It's
I'm
really,
very happy,
I'm really happy
that
too.
we thought about this afternoon, because everybody can see also how you work with the singers.
This is something that maybe is never, shown. How it's built. People think that in opera, the singers do their own things,
Yes.
and the conductor does their own thing, and little people know that there is a preparation, that we need to be in tune, and as long as the conductor is in tune, because then the orchestra follows the conductor, and so if the orchestra starts following the singers and not the conductor, this is when there are problems in the production.
And I think that this is a symbol.
I've seen many times that happen.
This is a symbol also of our lives. And even in business, a company should work.
But this is the exact expression of how things come together. And I think both the orchestra and especially the opera, because there are so many parts, and unless everybody is working towards the same goal, the regista respecting the stage director, respecting the score and the music, and collaborating with the conductor not to create difficulties in the music, being together and making sense. So this is, but this is where the opera starts. It starts from meeting conductor, and then they go to the stage director, hopefully keeping the same that we have done, right, in normal times, and not changing.
It's important during the stage directing, though, to have the conductor there, just to keep making sure that as an ensemble, it's tight, because when you get staging, you tend to take things out of order, you tend to move things, slow things down to work on it, and then it can get a little out of shape. But you always need the conductor there to make sure that it always stays tight with the musical idea that we had before we went into the staging.
And I can see from the faces of the singers that the happiness of the public is first of all the happiness of the singers.
Absolutely.
It's a wonderful work you do. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for hosting us today, and thank you to you.
Thank you.
And we will have a lot of fun in the rehearsals on Sunday and on Monday.
Sì.
Concert. Thank you. And thank you very much. Thank you.